All right, thank you so much for being here. So today we have a few very special speakers who are going to run through their resources and give you kind of an overview of their organization and what they have to offer for you. So here's just a quick little rundown of our agenda. I'm going to introduce our first speaker in a moment, and we're going to go through each organization's presentation. And then towards the very end, I'll take about 10 minutes of your time and just talk a little bit about Thrive and what Thrive has to offer as well. So our first speaker today is Jennifer Cheyer, or Cheyer, I'm not quite sure how to say your last name, I'm sorry. She's the program manager for NOVAworks, and she's going to tell us a little bit about how NOVAworks works and how you can access their opportunities. So I'll stop sharing and let you share your screen with your slides. And if you want to correct the pronunciation of your last name, feel free.
Certainly. Good morning, everyone. I'm Jennifer Cheyer, and as Kirsten said, I am a program manager with NOVAworks, and I'm super excited to be here this morning to tell you about all of the job search services and employer services that we have available to support you and the community. So a little bit about who we are. We are the workforce development provider for San Mateo County and the northern part of Santa Clara County. We have physical locations in San Mateo and Sunnyvale, and we have been doing this for over 35 years. And by doing this, I mean helping job seekers and employers. In terms of helping people with their career transitions, we work with people who have been laid off from their jobs, people who've quit their jobs, if someone's been terminated or fired, maybe left the workforce for personal reasons, that could be family reasons, personal health reasons. We work with immigrants and refugees, and we work with people who are currently employed, who are looking for better job opportunities, people who are looking to make a career change or maybe want a promotional opportunity. Really, one important point is all of our services are free. There is no cost to use our services. And how we work with people in the job search realm is that we help each person who comes through our front door to really figure out where they are in their own job search process. And we have developed a career navigation curriculum that really focuses on what we see as the 4 major phases of a job search. So we can help people who need to get a focus. Some people come in and say, I don't know what I want to do next, or I'm burnt out, I need something new. We have other people who come in who say, I know exactly what I want, but I haven't updated my resume in 15 years. So we can help them create all of their marketing materials, whether it's a resume, a LinkedIn profile, or creating their employment applications. We help people understand the job search process. Most people, when they're in job search, sit behind the computer and hit submit, 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 submit. We know that doesn't work really well. So we are about having different strategies and helping people look at different ways of doing their job search. And we also have, through our programs, avenues and ways for people to network, to expand their network, to meet new people, and to connect with employers. And of course, when somebody's in job search and they're getting their resume out, we want them to be ready for the interview process. So we have materials and resources available to help people with their interview process, to negotiate salary. And something that's not listed here is once people find a job, they can stay with us for another year. And we can help them while they're on the job, just transitioning and navigating their new employment. So how we help people, probably our best resource are our career advisors. We have advisors who are available every day, and that's Monday through Friday, to help people with their job search. So our customers can contact our front desk, schedule an appointment, and meet with an advisor as often as they would like. The advisors can help people through any of those 4 stages I mentioned. So defining career goals, we do career research with people, we'll explore training options. So if somebody finds out that they are lacking skills, or if they want to go to a new career and they need new skills, we can potentially pay for training. We also have avenues for a lot of free online training through Google Grow, through IBM, through Udemy, things that we can connect people to resources so they can improve their marketability. As I said, we spend a lot of time one-on-one with people writing their resumes, their LinkedIn profiles, or their job applications. We will help people craft their cover letter, and we will help people seek out how they're going to reach out to the employer. So we will help with informational meetings, networking tips, and how to do follow-up with employers. And we do a lot of time practicing of interviews. So one-on-one, taking people through interview questions and helping them to customize their response so it feels natural and normal to who they are. It's in their own voice, and they're able to effectively present themselves to employers. We also, in addition to our career advising, we host 24 different job search workshops. All of our workshops right now are available through Zoom. And we offer workshops either weekly or every other week for most of our workshops. And again, the workshops focus on those 4 main elements of the job search. So we have a set of about 4 workshops around career focus. We have about 5 or 6 workshops around resume writing and marketing materials, a couple of workshops on job searching, a slew of workshops around interviewing, including if you had anyone who was technical in nature. We even have a coding whiteboarding class that teaches people how to work through those coding questions and how to respond and deal with whiteboard interviewing. And we've got workshops around communication skills so that people can just improve or enhance their workplace communication skills. Of course, since we're about employment, we want to connect people to employers. So we have a lot of ways for our job seekers to connect with employers. We do have a free job board. So if we have any employers in the audience and you're looking for a place to post your jobs, you can post for free through our job board. That job board is open to the public, so our customers can see it as well as anyone in the community. We do active recruitments, which have actually been really successful as of late. And this is where we will partner with an employer who has an immediate job opening. We will post it internally to our customer base. We then work with our job seekers to help them prepare their resume and prepare for interviews. And then we funnel people who we think are appropriate match for the position and who are ready to move forward to the employer. Employers then review resumes and do the interviewing. So it's a great way for us to connect our job seekers to those local job leads. We also do employer spotlights and information sessions. So we will have employers come in and present to our job seekers about who they are. Recently, we've had Samtrans come in and talk about all of their open positions and really focusing on their new bus driver opportunities. We've had Robert Half come in and talk about a slew of different opportunities that they have. So if you're, again, an employer and you have a need, we'd be happy to talk to you about that. And through these employer spotlights, obviously, we're doing ongoing recruitment events to connect the job seeker to the employer. We also have a free resource that's open to the public called myplan.novaworks.org. I can give you a quick tour. So if you have people who are in job search mode, who maybe just need some quick information, what we have is this website. It's pretty much all of our curriculum available online for free. So if somebody wants some help with their resume, they can come here, they can click on resumes. And in here, you'll see that we've got a couple of videos that talk about how to customize a resume, what goes on a resume. Here we talk about different parts of the resume and what to include. And at the bottom, we always have handouts, tools and resources for people that they can download and use in their own job search. So this is a wonderful, MyPlan is just such a wonderful tool for job seekers. We use it when people are enrolled in our program, but if somebody didn't want to enroll in our program, or you know somebody who's in New York City who's looking for a job and just needs some quick advice, they're welcome to use the website themselves. Coming back to the deck. So that's an overview of everything that Nova offers. Everything I've just mentioned is free and open to anyone in the community. Couple of requirements: people 18 and over, and people do have to be documented with the right to work in the US. Those are our kind of federal stipulations. If they meet those criteria, they can contact us. And at the end of the slide deck, I have contact information to start enrolling and using our services. I also want to use this opportunity to let you know about a special partnership and grant we have with the County of San Mateo. Right now, we have a special grant that's geared at serving 25 residents from historically excluded communities who were impacted by COVID. So if you know anyone or have any resources in the community to get the word out, we would love for people to know that in addition to all of the other services that they get from Nova, Through this special grant, they have the ability to get additional services, and it's what we're calling our whole person approach. And what that means is we're really looking at the individual and saying, what are the different barriers that might be getting in the way of someone being successful? Is it childcare? Is it housing? They can't pay their rent this month, and therefore they're not even able to focus on a job search. Are they in school and they need help paying for books? What we can do is, in addition to all of the job search services we have this special funding to be able to take care of some of these barriers so that people can focus on what it's going to take to help them move forward. I mean, I know if you're worried about paying childcare or worried about paying your rent, it's really hard to go out there and present yourself and interview effectively. So we want to take away some of those pressures so that people can be successful. And so just to give you a sense, as I said, we could pay for training, we could pay transportation expenses. We just actually paid for somebody to get their car fixed. It was sitting on the street and not moving, so we took care of that. We've paid rent for people. We can help with childcare, and we can even cover bill payments, just pay a PG&E bill for a couple of months, or look at how we could pay for some food expenses. So if you have somebody or know somebody who could benefit from our services, we would love the referrals. If you have someone you think is specific to the San Mateo grant, that would be someone living in San Mateo County, impacted by COVID, in an underserved or underrepresented community. The key contact is to contact Kim Pham, and her information is there. However, if you have a general job seeker who just needs some job search help, have them call our main number. We will get them connected, and our registration process is really quick. It can be done over the phone. Everything can be done remotely, and then they can get connected with our advisors for assistance. And that is a little bit about NOVAworks.
Thank you so much. Very comprehensive information. But if there are any questions, feel free to unmute yourself. You also are welcome to add any questions during any of the presentations to the chat, and our speakers or myself would be happy to answer anything that comes up. Any questions as of right now? If not, we can move on. That's a sign of a good presentation. Thank you so much, Jen.
Thank you.
All right. So I'd like to introduce our next speaker. We have Amanda Anthony. She's the program manager for the Renaissance Entrepreneurship Center. Those are two very difficult words to spell, I must say. But without further ado, I will let you take it away and share your screen and go over your slides and information.
Great. Thank you so much, Kirsten. So my name, as Kirsten said, my name is Amanda. I work in North San Mateo County, but you'll find out in a moment that Renaissance is working throughout San Mateo County and actually throughout the Bay. And so I'm really excited to share with you our services and how we can help people start and grow their businesses. So Renaissance has a long history. We have been doing entrepreneurship training and development for almost 40 years. We're at like 38 years at this point. We launched in 1985. We launched in 1985. Our first office was in Soma. We eventually became a women's business center in Soma as well. We expanded to Bayview Hunters Point. Then we expanded down the peninsula, went to East Palo Alto. We merged with an existing organization there called Startup Top East Palo Alto. We moved across the Bay, started partnering with CoBiz in Richmond, and then South Bay, and then finally, in the beginning of last summer, we started working at a new center in South San Francisco, which is where I work. So this center is serving all of North San Mateo County. It was an innovative partnership between the city of South San Francisco and the county of San Mateo. And then we have gotten a federal grant to continue our work. So that's where we are. And then in the beginning of this year, so in January, we became the administrator of the San Mateo Small Business Development Center. And I'll share a little bit about what the difference is between what Renaissance's services look like and what SBDC services look like. So I will use that term, SBDC, which stands for Small Business Development Center, because everything we have in our world has lots of words. And I can't say everything. I like work in South San Francisco. Everything is just long. So What we do in Renaissance is particularly work with solopreneurs up through micro enterprise. So once organizations are getting a little bit bigger, then we typically do recommend that they go to the Small Business Development Center. But our goal is really to make sure that we are working with businesses across the spectrum. Wow, I should have brought some water in here. I'm sorry, I really have to pause and go get a drink of water. You would think after like 3 years of Zoom calls, I would be better at preparing myself. What we do is we serve people who typically haven't had access to the capital and to the resources available for starting small business. We work with a large portion of women, 78% women, 78% people of color, 88 to lower to moderate income, and 40% immigrants. And that's for Renaissance district-wide. I actually work with a higher population of women and a higher population of immigrants here in North San Mateo County because services haven't typically been provided for them, and I want to make sure that they are getting the services that they need. We have services.
Amanda, I'm so sorry to interrupt you. There's a little bit of feedback as you're speaking. Is it possible for you to maybe change out your headset? I think that might be the problem. We can hear you. There's just some feedback issues.
I cannot because I don't have a second headset, but I can try and just undo the headset.
Okay, whatever works. We can still hear you. So
I can't hear me. Is it better now?
It's not, but we can still hear you. So if it's not an easy fix, go ahead and just move on.
Okay, yeah. I would have to log out of Zoom and then log back in. So
okay, no worries. Thank you.
Okay. Our services are provided in English, Spanish, and Chinese. Chinese is our newest language, and we will be starting a class in Chinese next month. So the center that I work at in South City is called the Economic Advancement Center. So just really long names here. And what's nice about it is that we have a lot of services that are provided under one roof. And so we have not only Renaissance here, we also have Job Train, which is another workforce organization, not NOVAworks, but also another one. And we also have some social services. So I just wanted to give kind of an outline that if you do need services in North San Mateo County, we're kind of a one-stop shop. So you can come here for job seeker services. You can get help with starting or growing a business. And this is where I'll talk about the difference between Renaissance and the Renaissance Small Business Development Center, is that Renaissance really focuses on classes and workshops. We very much focus on startup and working capital and access to markets. And so this is the beginning. We do a lot of the training and the background work. If you have had a business for a long time or you are ready for growth, then we typically refer to Small Business Development Center, because their model is one-on-one consulting, which you can get up to 10 hours of one-on-one consulting on a particular project. And then they're really investing in growth capital. So maybe you've had a business and you need to buy your building. That is a thing that can be done. Maybe you've got a product that you're super excited about selling, nationwide instead of just in the Bay Area. They can help with those things. We also have YMCA and City of South San Francisco who have services that are provided here. So Renaissance, as I said, we very much focus on classes and workshops that are helping people develop their business. We've got a couple that are coming up that are, I say, our featured classes. We have a class called Pop-Up Accelerator. And so I think during the pandemic, a lot of people have seen that there are lots of weekend events, pop-ups, temporary events where people are selling things. And so Pop-Up Accelerator is not only helping people understand the legalities of that, but also how to be successful at those events. And so we really focus on that, and we have a few events that we're helping to sponsor that are connected with that. So if you take this class, then you would have priority for participating in those events. And then our key class is called Start Smart. This is our if you're wading into the entrepreneurship waters, Start Smart will help you get there. It is a 4-week class. It is on the business model canvas. And so basically, if you're saying, I have this idea for a business, this will help you flesh out that idea and say, okay, this is how I'm going to make money on it. These are the resources that I need to think about. And then if you decide that that idea is worth pursuing and going for, then you can take our business prep class, which is writing the business plan. We also have additional classes in marketing and financial management. We have a lot of networking opportunities. So we try to meet the entrepreneurs where we are, but have a program that kind of covers all of the bases for entrepreneurship. We have 2 events that are coming up soon in person. We have actually returned to in-person events. We've found that a lot of our folks are ready for in-person events. We have a networking event at the end of this month. So if you'd like to come and meet me and our Small Business Development Center and talk a little bit about your business, or if you have a person who isn't quite ready to take the step, or they want to just know a little bit more, they can come and meet us there. It's going to be July 27th from 6 to 8 p.m. in Pacifica. And then we have a series of programs that are specifically for our Spanish-speaking community. So if you have any Spanish speakers who are looking to start a business or who have a business, we invite them to our Comida en Comunidad event, which is where we share food and ideas, and we have short presentations on relevant topics. So this is really what we're doing here in San Mateo County. I work closely with my colleagues down in East Palo Alto. So if you have a client or if you who is thinking about starting a business, especially childcare, or if you are yourself starting a business, we'd love to be your #1 resource. You can contact me or my colleague at these contact information. So I'm here every day in South San Francisco. Our East Palo Alto office is open most days of the week as well. But it's better to send an email or make an appointment if at this point still. And you can follow us on social media. So that is all I've got. And thank you for dealing with my cough.
Thank you so much, Amanda. Again, really comprehensive information. So we're grateful for that. If there are any questions, I don't see anything in the chat, but if any questions have come up while this presentation has been going on, feel free to unmute yourself. Otherwise, we will move on. Okay. Amanda, if you wouldn't mind stopping sharing so that our next speaker can share if they need to. So our next speaker is joining us from Futuro Health. This is our lead education ambassador, Jose Munoz. Thank you so much for being here, Jose. I don't know if you brought slides with you. You're welcome to share your screen if you have. If not, I'll just let you take it away. And again, if there are any questions, feel free to add them to the chat and we'll have time after everyone's spoken as well.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Yes, I do have some slides that I want to share. I will go ahead and share now. So 1 second. Let me just fix this up real quick. So I'm the main volunteer. I'm a volunteer and I am the lead ambassador with the Healthcare Education Opportunities with SCI UHW. And I'm going to walk you through this presentation deck that the leaders to lawmakers will use when speaking to an elected official. Oh, no, this is not for, no, sorry. This is not for, yeah, I don't know why it's not in my notes for, okay. Let me just move on. So prior to pandemic, we are already experiencing a staffing shortage. The pandemic exposed and escalated the healthcare worker shortage into a crisis. So healthcare workers are exhausted, healthcare workers are leaving jobs, retiring early, or leaving their profession. Patient care is suffering, less hands-on attention, longer delays, and overall low quality care. In California alone, there's a need for approximately 500,000 new allied healthcare workers by 2028. So at SEIU UHW, we are changing the future of healthcare. Our goal is to recruit quality students for allied healthcare career advancement programs to meet the workforce needs of the future. We want to create a diverse workforce with gender equality and create equal opportunities by lifting communities in their greatest need. The long-term solution to staffing crisis is future health. So the mission is to improve the health and wealth of communities by growing the largest network of credentialed allied healthcare workers in the nation, starting in California. So it is a nonprofit founded in 2020, established with the $130 million won in the Kaiser contract bargaining in 2019. And the goal is to graduate 10,000 new licensed and/or credentialed allied healthcare workers by 2024 to meet the growing need. In year 2020, Future Health had 1,668 students enroll in a program and start completing coursework towards a health credential. In year 2021, Future Health is aiming to enroll 3,500 more students and currently has 2,730 students currently enrolled. Future Health is key to getting into healthcare jobs. And for 2022, we have created a list of career pathway programs that are in huge demand. We have the medical assistant program, pharmacy tech, patient care representative, phlebotomy, community health worker, sterile processing, and a peer support specialist, which is coming soon. Our friends and family can join with tuition-free scholarships and minimal fees. We also encourage potential students to support our ongoing recruitment by becoming healthcare justice members of SEIU UHW. Medical assistants the medical assistant program is a great place to start because people can become certified within a year and also use that training to build on for other healthcare jobs. We're having success getting people who complete Futuro's medical assistant program placed into great union jobs. We're ready to train over 2,000 medical assistants across this state this year. Now here's a rundown of the basic requirements to apply for these programs. You must be referred to by a UHW member, have a high school diploma or GED, be at least 18 years of age to apply, be a California resident able to work in the US, and there is an 8-week human touch healthcare jumpstart course that is required for all programs. There's a $50 registration fee for the human touch healthcare jumpstart course, and there's a $100 registration fee for all programs. You need to own a computer and have reliable internet. You need to be available for in-person clinical lab and full-time unpaid externship, which would depend on your program. Be able to commit 3 to 4 hours per day to study time. And there's a drug screen and background check that costs $77. And you need to have up-to-date immunizations, including the COVID vaccine. We are looking for quality students. Make sure that those who apply meet what we call the quality start readiness, which is these tips in order to make it to graduation. So you need to be ready to start to be quality start ready. You need to be ready to start within 2 to 4 weeks of applying. You need to check your emails daily. And you will be communicating back and forth with your future health navigator, who's going to be like your guide throughout the program and provides career counseling as well. If they're unresponsive, you email them at help@futurehealth.org. You need to choose a program when you apply, and you need to stick to the program you choose. There's no switching allowed. There is an unpaid full-time externship depending on the program. COVID vaccine is required by education providers and employers. You need to have a passion for helping and caring for others. You need to have a working computer that is not a Chromebook, tablet, or cell phone. And you need to understand that the job placement is not guaranteed. We want to help connect you to jobs, but they're not guaranteed. So although job placement is not guaranteed, our outreach team connects with graduates in order to assist them with applying for vacant positions for SEIU UHW employers. We host weekly virtual future student orientations where you can learn more about the education programs available through Future Health. At this orientation, you will have the opportunity to learn all about the program and the requirements to get in. You will also work with one of our education ambassadors, such as me, who oftentimes are healthcare workers, to get started on the application. The orientations, sorry, I live next to education station, so yes. But the orientations are held every first, third, and fourth Wednesdays of the month at 6 p.m. and every second Saturday of the month at 11 a.m. So, you know, there's not enough time to go over that, but in your orientation, you'll find out how to register. And all applicants will need to have the following in order to apply for the program, which is to be referred to by an SEIU UHW member. You need to have their facility, last 4 digits of their employee ID number, their phone number, and division they work at. We will provide this information to you for those who meet all the minimum requirements and are start ready. Any questions that I cannot answer, or if you have questions after the presentation that you thought about much later after I left, you can always email us at opportunity@seiuhw.org. Okay, so yes, that's my presentation.
Thank
So
you.
any questions? Yeah. Thank you.
As Jose mentioned, if any questions have come up while he's been speaking, you're free to unmute yourself. You can also add them to the chat. And then if you just need time to kind of let that sit and digest, you can share the contact information later. I'll also be sending out a follow-up email to everyone who's registered for this event. So they'll get the slides and any resources and information. Looks like we have one question, Jose, in the chat. Why are the externships unpaid?
So the externships are, once you start working, it's with it. So you do the program, and then you have to do hours in your actual if you, for example, if you did MA, or actually let's just phlebotomy. So if you did phlebotomy, the program, and then you completed the program, and then you have the externship hours. So in order to get your certification, you will actually be working. The externship is actually working in phlebotomy, getting the samples, all of that. So since you're already going to be paid for that by your employer, we're not going to pay you for that. So that's just, that's just included with the program. Yeah. So.
Sorry, Jose, this is Belen. So you're saying that the externship happens once you're hired?
That is correct, yes.
Okay, so you are paid by the employer, but not by SEIU through the program, but you need that to complete the certification. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Any other questions while we have Jose on the call? All right, thank you so much, Jose. And again, I will be sending out resources and slides along with the contact information if any questions do come up as the information has kind of sit with you. excuse me, I'm going to share my screen again, and I will go through my slides fairly quickly. But I do want to give a little bit of information about Thrive and kind of what we offer for nonprofits as well while we have you on the call. So if you aren't familiar with Thrive, which I think most of you are who are on this call, we're a cross-sector collaborative organization, meaning we work across all different sectors with individuals, businesses. Obviously, nonprofits is sort of our main focus. These are our sort of pillars for our programs, and our strategies consist of strengthening people, organizations, and communities. And we do this through a few different themes. So capacity building, cross-sector collaboration, as I mentioned, and policy and advocacy. So here are some examples and just kind of an overview of some of our programs. So under our kind of policy advocacy theme, we have a number of Thrive Action groups. One, we're actually hosting an event today at noon. Registration is still available on our website if you want to check it out. It's in person at the Redwood City Chan Zuckerberg Initiative community space. And we also have a Zoom option. So if you'd like more information about that or want to Zoom in, feel free to email me. I'll put my email in the chat. So that's going to be under our Arts and Culture Thrive Action Group, the event that's happening today, which is something that we do fairly regularly, but obviously the pandemic has made sort of the arts and culture sector a little bit more difficult to thrive in, and difficult to meet up and get space and resource needs met. So that's going to be some of the things that we're discussing today, and it will sort of be an opportunity to reconnect with the arts and culture sector. We also meet about monthly with our children education Thrive Action group. We host generally virtual events, but we will have an upcoming in-person event soon. And the purpose of this group is to kind of tackle, again, some of the issues that have come up over the pandemic and just kind of the systemic issues in our education system. And then we have our cross-sector collaboration branch. So we do a number of town halls, leadership circle luncheons. One of them we had recently, I believe in April, again at the CZI community space in Redwood City. And this is just a space for nonprofit executives to come and connect and collaborate with peers, and just kind of discuss challenges and opportunities and formulate ideas and next steps. And then under our capacity building net, we have our Onboard Events, which we will be resuming likely this year, next year. And that's an opportunity for nonprofits to come and get resources or actually select board members. Then we also have our Strategic Alliances Initiative. So towards the beginning of the pandemic in 2020, we surveyed the nonprofit community in San Mateo County just to kind of get a gauge for what the challenges are looking like, such as cash flow and spacing issues, resources, things like that. And obviously these are major and ever evolving, but we got a lot of good data from that survey. And we've been working closely with some experts to kind of narrow down the information and figure out what next steps are. And we've got some great presentations and resources that I'd be happy to link that have discussed some of the things that have come out of that. So our programs, a lot of our programs also fall under sort of the theme of recovery and rebuilding. So like I mentioned, our event today for our arts and culture Thrive Action Group definitely falls under that, sort of reconnecting with the arts community. And then the Strategic Alliances Initiative, which I just mentioned, And we also are active with another group that we work closely with the San Mateo County Office of Community Affairs on. So that's the CCATs, the COVID-19 Community Action Teams. So these are a number of nonprofit organizations who are sort of active and involved in the community, providing resources and information, and often like physical PPE, masks to their respective community. And they work closely with the Office of Community Affairs as well as us to kind of round up all of the information for them to disseminate. And then we gather them monthly to meet and sort of organize more cohesively so we're not duplicating efforts, things like that. And so that's all pertaining to sort of COVID and right now vaccines. And then I'm also excited to talk about our COAD, so the stands for Community Organizations Active in Disaster. And this is something that Thrive has been working on for a little while. And we've gotten enormous help from organizations like Cadre. And we actually are hiring for a director of resiliency, which you can find on our job board on our website. But essentially, this is our way of organizing community organizations as well as faith-based organizations to prepare and be active in the case of disaster. So obviously COVID is one example of that, but even things like earthquakes, wildfires, California is just kind of, unfortunately, we frequently experience these kind of disasters. So it's really important for especially nonprofit organizations who often sort of bear a lot of the burden in these circumstances to organize effectively, again, so we're not duplicating efforts, and so that we're meeting each piece of the community. So that's kind of what this COAD is striving to do, is bringing more of a cohesive nature to the organizing. So I'd like to go through some of the events, just a few that are coming up for Thrive. So I talked a little bit about what's happening today. Again, our registration page is still open, and you can email me if you would like the Zoom information if you can't make it in person. Obviously, it's short notice. And then we also have our next VIA coming up. So this is the Voter Education Outreach Advisory Committee. This committee meets monthly, and on Wednesday, we'll actually have special guest Dr. Mindy Romero, who's the founder and director of CID, the Center for Inclusive Democracy at USC. And she's going to provide an analysis of voter turnout. So that'll be an exciting one tomorrow. And then also coming up on Wednesday is our Thrive Wellness Wednesday. So this is something that happens every other month, the first Wednesday of the month. And this month we'll be discussing and looking at some resources for gratitude. I'm sure a lot of us on this call have heard about some of the great research that's been done about the benefits of practicing gratitude. And so we'll be delving into that a little bit, as well as some practices. And then I want to give just like a really brief overview of a couple of the other things that Thrive offers and talk about our membership program. So our newsletters are one of the sort of key components of our membership, to be able to post on our website and get in our newsletters for free. It's generally a fee. Job postings, $25, and event postings, $50. So our Thrive Weekly newsletter is something that obviously gets disseminated weekly, and that's where you will see postings from other organizations about community events, about events they're hosting, kind of just like a sense of what's going on in San Mateo County. Thrive Star is not quite as frequent. It's about quarterly, and we offer information about just kind of the overarching themes and happenings for Thrive, as well as a few community announcements as well. And then our job board is something that we also send out weekly. And this is where you'll find job postings from community organizations. So if you have an open position that you'd like to spread the word about, you can email me or look on our website, and we can talk about how you can get that on both our website and our newsletter. And then you'll also see our job opening for our co-ed position, the Director of Resilience. And then our policy and advocacy newsletter is a monthly newsletter, and that's sort of everything policy and advocacy related. We do a lot of policy and advocacy work in Thrive, and Petra, who's not on camera on this call, is our Senior Director of Programs. She does a ton of work under the policy and advocacy branch. So just a little shout out to Petra. So some of the other benefits to joining the Thrive community are networking opportunities, opportunities to collaborate and grow. Like I mentioned, our leadership circle luncheons. We have town halls occasionally, lots of sort of exclusive events that Thrive offers. And then you also obviously have the opportunity, as I mentioned, about the newsletters, to promote what's important to you and your organization, and kind of get a sense of what's happening in the community as well. Advertise your job openings, and then additionally, partnering for success and advocating for your cause and spreading the word about your organization, and allowing the rest of the community to kind of get to know you. So for nonprofits specifically, we have a couple of different sort of tiers for membership. I'm going to talk about nonprofits because it's majority of folks that are joining us. So I mentioned our leadership circle luncheons, a great way for executive directors and CEOs of nonprofits to kind of get to know each other, engage with each other, and discuss challenges, opportunities, obstacles, next steps, that type of thing. We also host a number of roundtable discussions. And these tend to be on sort of, apropos, timely topics, but narrowly more focused on nonprofits, about collaboration and sort of the overarching operations and business aspects. And then we also offer a number of discounts. You can look at our website in the membership section for more information, but some examples are sort of HR and operations services at a free or reduced cost. And then obviously our newsletters, I won't say any more about that. I think I've talked a lot about that, but if you have any questions, feel free to email me. And then we also offer a number of resources for board recruitment. So our Onboard Events, like I mentioned, will be restarting soon. And we also have a number of resources on our website for that as well. So that's about it. If there are any questions, again, feel free to unmute yourself. I know there's a lot of information at once, and I feel like I could talk all day about what Thrive does and what we offer. So if anything comes up, I'm going to put my email in the chat as well. And then just as a reminder, I will be sending out a follow-up email after this event, and I will provide links to each of the resources that were discussed today, as well as the presentations, so you can go through them at your leisure. If there's any information that you wanted to go back to, and I will provide any of the contact information that's been shared today as well. Any questions?
Kirsten, thank you very much for hosting this.
Thank you so much, Jen, Amanda, Jose. Thank you so much for being here and for sharing about your organizations. And like I said, great comprehensive information. I think not a lot of questions. It's a great sign. All right, thank you. Great to see you all. Thanks for coming.